Hi, my name's Lauren Hancock. I am presenting Pillar 1 Part B Communication Plan. So with whom are we communicating? Our principal will communicate with the PCL and our PTA. That liaison will communicate with our liaison and our PTA on creating the plan to communicate with parents, guardians, family in general, other students, athletic groups, extracurricular groups, local after-school programs, and transportation and emergency services. Type of communication. Communication will be or will happen via social media using Twitter and Facebook and Instagram accounts. Email, Parent Square app, or a text message service, which I had when I was at Eastview High School, which was last year, in Georgetown's district. It was extremely helpful. So it was not only just emergency services and things like that, but it was also just updates, calendar events, holidays, and it was very helpful even as a teacher to receive those things, not only as a parent. Students also could sign up for that text message service, so it was great for seniors, getting graduation updates, etc. Postal service for when some families may not have internet, you will need a backup service of when to give transcripts and VOEs and other types of communication. And lastly, since also internet is not always the best form of communication, it's fast, but a weekly reminder sheet to send home from homeroom. And in my case, we have enrichment at our school during sixth period. I think that would be a perfect time to kind of have like a go home folder, kind of like when you do in elementary school. Even at the high school level, I think it would work. And having a folder, having a weekly one pager of updates, things to remember for the week. And I believe that either the front office or an assistant principal could help facilitate that and get all teachers all on the same page, have them print those, and then put them in their mailboxes for students, and then teachers can put them in folders and then get those out before the week starts. So maybe we can do that on Friday and present it on Monday. Email. So the frequency would be daily reporting on happenings on the campus from the head principal. A weekly for newsletter sent on Sunday evenings from the principal or early Monday morning, whichever works, including a Google Calendar for events in that newsletter. So right now we do get a newsletter, but it's not from the head principal. I'm not sure who sends that out, but he does not give a breakdown of information of the week. And it's just not very helpful. Like, it's definitely more for parents, which I think it's great. But the formatting, the way it's set up, it's very difficult to read and get through. So I think something a little more simplistic, and then also on top of that, the principal communicating weekly or even daily. Maybe daily might be too much, but I'm gonna say even weekly is helpful from the principal. Even if it's just a reminder, I think daily would help. The purpose is basic day-to-day communication and updates from teachers to students and teachers to parents. Weekly newsletters sent home on paper regarding important reminders about behavior, expectations, school supplies, meetings, especially grade level meetings, things like that, extracurricular events, progress reports, and grading policies. And the person in charge here would be the head principal. Social media accounts, the frequency would be for special programs like electives and student groups. They need to update, and they can send those out as they see fit, whichever platform they choose to use. Personally, I think, Facebook is great for long form information. Instagram is better for pushing programs and doing, just that social media blitz of photos and, hey, this is what we're doing. Look at all these photos. And then Facebook is good for that too. Twitter might be best for just short form updates and schedule safety transportation issues. The purpose would be updates on transportation services, schedules, hours of operations during school hours, including state and federal days, promoting school events such as athletics, theater, choir, UIL, and dance programs, sharing and promoting school information available to stakeholders, and the person in charge would be advisors of student groups, PLC, and a committee headed by the PLC. Parent Square app or a text message service, so this frequency would be as needed, and it could also be posted on the Google Calendar. I really appreciated this. I talked about it in the last slide, but we had this at Georgetown ISD, and I really liked it. We also had it at Hudson when I taught there back in 2017, 2018. It was updates, whether it was safety, EMS, scheduling, holidays off, Especially we had Raptor alerts, so that was all of our safety team protocols. So if there's a lockdown, a lockout, you would be informed all of that via text message, because not only you may not have internet access, which sometimes we did not. We had the lights out and we ended up having a lockout, and none of us had internet access, so it was wonderful to have that via text. Purpose would be emergency services, updates on transportation, promoting school events, including a Google Calendar for events, sharing and promoting school information available to stakeholders as well. And the person in charge here would be associate principal or assistant principal. And then postal service, frequency as necessary, transcripts, progress reports, and other legal documentation. The person in charge here is going to be the administration team, whoever head principal deems necessary to put that job task on. But obviously the front office staff, they do all that administrative work and to send that out to the postal service. But some students are just not going to have internet at home, and that's a reality you still have to face. So keeping the snail mail as an option, I think, is still very important. And then a weekly reminder sheet to send home from the homeroom or enrichment, like we have at my current school at Del Valley. Frequency would be once a week on Mondays, which I think should be prepped on Friday. And teachers would pick that up in their mailboxes, put in folders, and then sent out to students. Purpose would be for any important reminders, anything that we would be sending in the email, newsletter from the head principal, and then any updates, like I said, in that newsletter or on the Google Calendar. Again, because some families are not going to check. They're not going to check Skyward. They're not going to check all of those internet platforms. And person in charge here would be associate, assistant principals with approval from the principal.